Great day in Lakeway, and I am here with Peter Batterton of 512 Pool Inspections. The reason I wanted to talk to Peter today is that, as everyone is aware, May is National Water Safety Month, and I thought that a lot of people who are in the buying or selling season of their life with homes that may involve a pool would find it really helpful to understand from his perspective some things to look for and to be aware of in that buying selling process. So Peter, thanks so much for meeting with me today.
My pleasure.
I'm excited to hear from you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about 512 Pool Inspections.
Well, I specialize in swimming pool inspections for residential resale. That is to say, homeowners buying a home that have an existing pool.
Okay.
It's my job to go in and look for all the things that should be there. Often they are not, and it's my job to find that out, disclose it to the homeowner, very much like a home inspector would, but specifically for just swimming pools.
Gotcha. So we've talked a little bit about pool inspections just in preparing for this opportunity. So tell me about the difference between rules and regulations across the nation in regards to pools.
Excellent question. And that is probably the biggest challenge we have, is that most states have more regulations than the state of Texas, for example. So when I'm meeting with clients and they're buying a home that has a pool in it, they may be moving from California or Florida, where there's a lot of rules and regulations that apply to swimming pool construction, but those simply don't apply here. So often they are somewhat shocked and dismayed at some of the shortages or the inconsistencies on the build, because they assumed that the pools would have been built to the same standard as the state they moved from.
Tell us about that. Why the big gap?
Texas doesn't want to regulate. Texas is very much letting people do what they want the way they want. I personally am a fan of certification programs, training, continuing education as much as possible, because there's always something more to learn, and you really should be at the top of your game. You're going to be building pools in the backyard or inspecting pools, you need to make sure that they're correct and safe. And until the state really comes around to setting up a registration process for contractors, it's going to be a little dicey. I am outside of 512 Pool Inspections. I'm the president of the Association of Pool and Spa Professionals in the greater Austin area, and it's our job to work with state and federal regulators on swimming pool safety, swimming pool codes, ethics, construction, and whatnot, to try to bring a level up to the best it can be.
Wow, so in the state of Texas, you have to be licensed to be an electrician. Are you telling me that a pool builder doesn't have to be licensed?
That is correct. In fact, the plumbers have to be licensed to put your sprinklers in, but a swimming pool contractor does not.
Wow, okay, great. Well, that really helps me understand better why an inspection would be important. Now let's speak specifically to 78734, because that's what this community website is specifically geared toward, and the audience that we're speaking to. Can you help us understand what that process would look like specifically for our zip code?
Absolutely. And ultimately my job is very much like a home inspector. I'm working on the buyer's behalf to make sure that they understand that the pool is in safe and good operating condition. So ideally those clients would reach out to me. I would be meeting them on site perhaps, or inspecting the pool without them and meeting them after the fact. And inspecting the pool, looking for anything that is inappropriate, unsafe, something that needs to be brought to their attention.
Wow. So perhaps a seller who is really wanting to relay the product that they have at their home, if they have a pool, I would think it might be helpful for them to engage with you before we even put the house on the market.
That is a great way to do it, absolutely. Most of the time I'm being brought in by the buyer and not the seller, because the seller is the one that is just simply trying to sell their home. But by all means, if you haven't inspected ahead of time, you can imagine the confidence you would have if you looked at a home with a pool and they said, by the way, here's an inspection report on the pool. We've had everything checked out, everything's in great shape for you. I think that would do a lot to help sell the home.
Tell us what your schedule looks like in regards to engaging, because typically a buyer is under a 7 to 10 to 14 day option period. So how quickly do we need to engage with you, and can you give us an idea about what you charge?
Absolutely. Fees are typically $300. That includes a 6-page detailed report, sometimes 7 if there's a lot of things that are on there. It is very comprehensive. I do water testing. I try to get the best picture I possibly can of the condition of that pool as it sits today. You're exactly right about the option period. It usually seems like pools fall off to about the last couple days, so I typically move very quickly. Sometimes same day, often next day, because I know the importance of having that inspection in their hand during that option period so they can make an informed decision.
So you need just a couple days heads up to schedule us in?
Yes.
Great, okay. And then how long do we have to wait to get that report?
I will process those within 24 hours.
Okay, awesome. That's perfect. Okay, what else can you kind of close with in helping us be best prepared in working with you?
Well, I can be reached. I have a cell phone number that I monitor all the time. I'm sure we'll have a link to that if you'd like. And I will make myself available as quickly as possible. I tend to be very available. I know for some inspectors, they tend to be a little bit hands-off. I'm particularly more hands-on. I know for a lot of clients that have never had a pool before, they don't understand what to do. They might be intimidated about how to take care of it, how it works. And I'm always available to help them with the operation of the pool, what needs to happen, how it needs to happen, and anything I can do to help them out.
And your website's under construction, but we can find you on Facebook.
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
else can we find you?
Well, it's 512 Pool Inspections on Facebook, and I'm currently setting up the website under the same exact name, 512poolinspections.com.
Great. One last thing, any tips, tricks that we can leave our sellers or buyers with as they do head into the summer, just for pool safety and staying on top of things?
Well, certainly make sure that your filters are clean. You can monitor your filter pressure. Most of the water chemistry, you can take samples of water to almost any place and they will test it for free. Understand they may try to sell you some chemicals, that's their job, but you want to make sure that your water is clean, that your chemicals are in balance, that your pH is in balance, that your chlorine is correct. Make sure you have professionals looking over your shoulder, that's their job, is to make sure your water's in good shape, and make sure that your equipment's in good working order. And if you have any questions or concerns, reach out to myself, perhaps another company that does pool repair, but you can always have your equipment looked at to make sure it's in the best running condition possible.
And one last thing, what is the most catastrophic thing that you run across when you do pool inspections and you think, oh geez, no one should be swimming in this pool?
Oh, that is a good question. By far, it is suction, entrapment, risk, and danger.
Okay.
There are a lot of pools out there that the drains are patently unsafe. There's a single main drain, which has not been legal in a long time. But what happens is, because it was built at a time that was allowed, the homeowner has not changed it, they go to sell the home, and it's a big red flag. So making sure that the drains are not single drains, making sure that they're the correct drain covers to protect bathers when their pumps are running and they're in the pool or the spa, and making sure that there's no entrapment risk at all.
And when did that drain, adding an additional drain, when did that rule come in place so we kind of understand construction post such and such a date would be?
Well, it would be 2008 on the federal level,
okay.
But I hate to admit that the state of Texas has not ratified that law. So by definition, there are still areas, especially in the counties, where you can have a pool that is built with a single main drain.
Wow, okay, great. Well, thank you so much for leaving us with this great information and helping to prepare us so that we can do a better job in considering what we're purchasing when we're buying, and when we're selling, being best prepared to leave that home in such a way that we can leave it with confidence.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lakeway, thank you so much for your time and for your attention, and as always, don't forget to love and live happy.